Indy, thank you so much for taking the time out to come and sit and talk to me about storytelling and just your journey in storytelling. I'm really excited to hear your story. After hearing you tell a story recently at our show, it was fantastic. It was such
Thanks.
It was so much fun, and just heard so many great things about just your story, and it was a fun show. So
it was fun to be there for sure.
That's great. Well, so I want to start off and just hear, how did you get involved in storytelling? Was there a specific first memory for you as far as like your growing up, or what was it that drew you in?
Growing up, for sure. I mean, like, I've always been a storyteller. Like, I come from an artistic family, and I learned pretty early on that storytelling comes in multiple mediums. It's not just like speaking a story. It's illustrative. It's telling a novel, playwriting, prose, all that kind of stuff. And I used to make little like movies in my head of daydreams that I would continue for like years on end, of like a family, and then it would just continue on generation. And one day I told my grandmother, my Nana, a little bit about the little story that I make up, and she said, "Oh, well, you need to write that down." And I was like, "Oh, I think you're onto something." So from then on, like my hobby was literally filling whole spiral notebooks of just handwriting all of these stories down. And so from there, creative writing to theater to storytelling. So from there, that was the gateway, the pipeline, I guess you could say. That's how I got into it anyway.
That's great. So now do you have siblings?
I do. I have one younger sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and then obviously your parents, I met your parents at the show.
Yes.
Are any of them like natural storytellers, or do you have memories of like grandparents or family at events just telling these wonderful stories, or is that?
It's, I think, mostly my mom. She's a huge extrovert. Me, less so, but she is an amazing businesswoman. She's a manager of a restaurant. So her thing is like, she'll go around to tables and she'll have regulars, and she'll be like, when I got into storytelling, she would come up to me later and be like, "Oh my God, I have to tell you about what happened, because I told it to like 5 different tables. So I kind of have a script going of like the best way to tell it." So she had to rehearse story herself. But yeah, she's probably the biggest like storyteller out of my close-knit unit, at least. Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. So do you remember a time, or do you remember the time when you would say you performed your first story, whether that was, again, to family at some kind of a gathering, or could have been high school or college, but that first performance that really kind of sticks in your mind?
Yeah, actually. Like I said, when I was a kid, I would write all the time. And whenever there was like a warm-up in grade school of like, oh, write a little short story based on the prompt, I would always be the first to volunteer to read it to the class. And I remember this one time I'd made this like mystery thriller where like all of us, this was like 3rd grade, all of us students came into class and our teacher was missing. And so we had to go around the school to try to figure out, where's the teacher? And the big reveal at the end was that she had like gone somewhere else, and it was like a exercise in problem solving to like try to find her or whatever. It was cute. That's probably the first one I remember. There's multiples like that, but yeah, it's pretty fun.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, having only heard a couple of yours, so far, I'm interested and excited to hear more. So it's been really cool to hear that. Now,
thanks.
So tell me, when it comes to, we'll get to your time at KSU in a minute, but when it comes to preparing to tell a story in front of an audience, what's your process like for that? And how much of, I've asked other storytellers this too, but how much of your process involves thinking about the audience, and how much of it is you're telling this, for you, and just, I mean, What's the balance there?
Well, I'm still trying to find said balance for sure. Because I'm a huge people pleaser. I'm trying to be like, oh, well, they think this is funny. Is it okay if I say this? You know? And like this past story at The Songs That Shape Us, the 2 featured characters in it were present at the show. So it's just like, oh God, I'm going to talk about you on stage. It's so vulnerable. But most of the process, especially in my like actual performative storytelling journey, has been a lot of like self-work goes into each story, because since I mostly do personal narrative, it's a lot of digging into myself to see like, oh wait, okay, so how did I actually perceive this in the moment and how do I respond? It's a lot of like learning about myself. Like this past story was about creating new friendships, and so I had to do a little bit of digging of like, am I trying to compete with these people, or am I trying to impress them? Like what was my actual goal subconsciously? So there's always a lot of like mental, I don't want to say battle, but for lack of a better term, I will, because it sometimes is a little bit. But yeah, it's a lot of self-discovery that goes into all of my personal stories that I do. Yeah, and then past that, it's a Google Doc that has little to no formatting that my friends look at and go, "What is this?" Like, I don't know.
That's great.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, I know I met you through Charlie,
Yes.
Dr. Charles Parrott
Dr. Charles
at
Parrott. Yes.
KSU. And so I know that your time there was, you know, meaningful to you, and
Very much, yeah.
and to Charlie as well, and talking to him about the students. And my wife and I went to the showcase at the end of December last year.
Oh, awesome.
So the mid-year showcase.
Yeah.
And we were just blown away. And so to think that there's, you know, a group of young people literally in our backyard who are doing this all the time, it was just, for me, was just such an encouragement. So I'd love to hear just some of your thoughts about your time with the KSU Tellers, and kind of how that has impacted you or shaped kind of who you are now.
Yeah, it had a huge impact on me. I will always be thankful to Charlie. Hi, Charlie. I will always be thankful to him for everything that he taught me and how I kind of like came into myself through that club. We'll call it a club. The class, I guess. But let's see. It's really, really cool because it's teamwork as much as it is an individual project, because how the class is structured is that, you know, you come up with your own idea and then you work on it outside, and then you come into class every Friday and, you know, you'll do your thing, and then everyone will give feedback and insight and different perspectives on the same story, and it's really, really cool. So it builds this really like tight-knit community within a really small group of people, because we all have to be really vulnerable in that space, because usually it's like personal stories, so you have to get personal with these people. And so in my time, I did it for 3 semesters, which is the maximum, because otherwise you're just showing off past that point. But for all 3 of mine, it created this really cool, just like friend group of people, I guess. And it was different every semester, because there's always a few that like come and go. But it's a really cool sense of community, even though it's small. And sometimes we would travel out to like a few years ago, there was the first Georgia Storytelling Network convention, I believe is what it was. That was really cool. Got to meet more people just like in the whole community there, outwards of KSU. Did another like book festival that was really fun. It's really a way to expand one's worldview, which is really cool and fascinating for me.
Well, and that was what I was just struck by when we went to the showcase, because again, Charlie kind of saw what we were doing online, and we had coffee and just talked about it, and then he came to one of our shows and was like, wow, let's meet more. And then he was telling me about what you guys were doing, and so again, just to come and to hear that, I put myself back when I was 18, 19, 20 and thinking, you know, I think that, you know, my adult self now looking back was like, man, I wish I had had something back then. I don't know if it had been around where I went to school, if I would have done it. But looking at it, I just think like, what a gift to the students who were involved
100%.
to develop, like you said, that skill,
Yeah.
but also that self-awareness and the awareness of others, and then to be able to develop the confidence to stand in front of people and speak. I mean, that's a great. I mean,
Yeah, it's an excellent exercise in empathy and self-confidence for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so now that you're out of school and KSU Tellers is a thing of the past.
I sobbed the last show. It was,
Yeah,
it was ugly crying.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
I
Charlie was
bet.
like, you can go on to do it more. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not here though.
Yes.
What's the point?
Gotta leave the nest.
Yeah.
Well, and obviously you have, and so
It's not that
what other shows have you done, or what other like events have you been to outside of KSU, or have you, as far as just continuing to? I mean, I know you said you were looking into the Moth and some other things, but
Yeah, I went to the Moth Grand Slam 2025, I'm pretty sure, and so that was super cool, and I would love to get more involved with them. It's just a matter of, doing it.
Yeah.
And then other than performing, it's really just been this past show with the Songs That Shape Us. But I've been like, doing my own little thing,
Sure.
writing odds and ends, whatever, just in my free time. But as of like actual storytelling performance, I haven't been as active in the community as I'd like, which better late than never. I'll get there, but late. I'm 23. Jesus Christ. Everyone else in this community is way older than me.
Yes.
I'm early. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it is, I will say that's, getting involved in it, that's one of the things I've loved so much about it is just, I'm sure it was this way at KSU too, but just such a welcoming group of people, because everyone really and truly does want to see the other storytellers succeed, and are as curious about hearing other stories as they are sharing their own. And so that's been a beautiful thing for me to see. So I'm excited. Hopefully you'll continue to be a part of what we're doing. And then obviously the Moth, I know that would be great. I think you would love that too. So, and then I know you said you guys went to a GSN, like a Georgia Storyteller Network, when you were at KSU, and you won an award at that, right? What was?
Yeah, oh God, it's such a long title. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But excellence and performance of storytelling, something or other. Yeah, so it was a different thing than that. So like the events were not connected, but it's the same people. That one was just like a general like storytelling convention. They had guest artists come in and tell stories. Like Cheddar was one of them. So that's where I met him.
Very cool.
And we as tellers, a few of us, myself included, did little like spots as well, which was really fun. I told a story actually about this time that I'd accidentally stepped in poop at a grandparent's house of future in-laws, and that was the first time I'd met them. And so now all of these people in the community are like, hey Charlie, what was that person that told the story about the poop? And that's my legacy now, which is great. So when they awarded me that later in the semester, it's like, give it to the poop kid. Oh,
that's
fantastic. Yeah, I know. But I think it's once a year. I think it's Charlie that organizes it, since he's part of the network as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, cool. But it's just like a little award. It's a grant. There's a little prize that comes along with it that helps. That's just like recognition for people who are hoping to continue with the practice post-graduation. So, you write an essay about your perception of storytelling and how it's useful. It was me.
Yeah,
Ta-da!
that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, all right, so looking ahead, do you have any, like, are you gonna go to the Moth like soon, or we're gonna have to keep you hold you accountable to this?
Probably. It's probably big holding me accountable. Because I have like 5 hobbies, and I'm like, oh, but I want to do this one instead. So it's a lot of like coming up with an idea is kind of the hardest
Yeah.
part, because it's, writing a story in a month, and I'm not
Yeah.
used to that yet.
Yeah.
Because in Tellers, it was one whole semester, and you'd maybe write two, which is, like 3 months.
Yeah.
And so, however long a semester is, I don't remember. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's mostly that of the, well, I gotta make a thing first before I put it out there. But
Yeah.
hopefully soon I'll be better about policing
Well,
myself to get out there.
We'll keep on you.
Okay.
We'll make sure.
Okay.
We'll reach out and make sure we're inviting you. So
Cool.
that'll be great.
That'd be lovely.
So as far as thinking about other people that may be interested in doing this storytelling thing, is there any advice or any encouragement you would give to people about just telling their story?
Yeah, I'd probably say, like my Nana said, just write it down, because you never know who is going to be impacted by what you're going to say. And like I said earlier, thinking a lot about like, ooh, are they going to like it? One thing that I learned through university is make what you want and your audience will come to you, because the more specific you get, the more universal the experience becomes. It's really shocking how many people will relate to niche experiences that you think you have.
Yeah.
So yeah, writing it down.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Absolutely.
Well, I love music. I mean, obviously, I love storytelling, but the whole show came out of my love for live music. And I'm such a geek when it comes to, I love watching, like, if there's ever a documentary about a band, or like behind the scenes, or like podcast interviews, and it doesn't even matter if I necessarily love the artist's music. I just love hearing musicians talk about that process.
Oh my
and so
God, yeah.
anyway, just this past week, it's Amy Poehler, who's the Good Hang podcast. She was on SNL. Anyway, it's a podcast, and
Probably that.
she had Billie Eilish on.
Whoa.
And
cool.
so, I mean, my kids love Billie Eilish. And I mean, I like her music too. So, but I listened to the interview, and it was fascinating, because what you just said, she said that oftentimes people in interviews will ask her what music she likes. Like, what music does she like? And she's like, I often say mine. And people are always like,
literally,
that's weird.
Yeah,
they're like,
so
you listen.
conceited.
They're like, you listen to your own music, and she's like, yeah, because I make what I would want to hear.
Exactly.
And she's like, so it's not like I'm always riding around listening to my music, but it's the mentality of, like you said, it's make what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Do what you would want someone else to do. And 9 times out of 10, people are going to gravitate to that, because you're being genuine. And so
Exactly.
I loved that, because I thought that's such great advice to, like you said, follow your passions, and you and Billie Eilish.
That's great advice. Yeah. I'm on par with her for sure. Absolutely.
So, no, that's great. Well, as far as going on from here, we will definitely stay in touch.
Absolutely.
I would love for you to continue to be involved in what we're doing.
Yeah,
And
me too.
it was so much fun at the show, and like I said, just such great feedback. Now, I will ask, do you have that night of the show? I'm just kind of
Okay. Yeah.
riffing here. I was
Okay.
thinking about that night, because you came in and told a story, and you were number 2 that night. So there were a few people after you. How was it, kind of like that moment leading up to your story, and then afterward, was there like just this huge like, now I can just like kind of chill, or are you one that's able to just come hang out and not really stress too much? Or
Well, not the latter, that's for sure. No, I think I'm the kind, like I've said a couple times now, I'm such a people pleaser that like, even when it's over, I'm like, did they like it?
Yeah.
No, but like, was it good though? Did I do it right? That could have been better, sort of thing. And I'm trying to evolve past that. But no, I mean, it was definitely like, as soon as the band started playing Dog Days, it was just like okay, chill out. This is a good song. Just party and chill, And it's really it was a really calming presence of having the other storytellers around me, because like with the sense of community there, like I don't know these people intimately, but it feels like we've been friends for a really long time, because everyone, yeah. So So yeah, it was just really cool. The energy around it is calming for the voice in my head, which is nice. Yeah,
That's great. Well,
definitely.
it was a lot of fun, and I know I've talked to, I've interviewed, I don't know, a dozen or so or more now, and just thinking about that order of the show. I know for me, I don't tell as many stories. I like just hosting and listening to all the stories.
Yeah.
But I have done some stories at the Moth, but for me, I kind of would rather go closer to the beginning, just because then I'm not sitting there the whole time like thinking about my story.
That's fair.
But then other people are like, I don't want to go first. I want some time. But so anyway, I like asking that question to see kind of what people's,
in Tellers, I would frequently be the last one to go, and in my head, because I'm apparently a narcissistic jerk, I'm like, it's because I'm the best for last. So then it was like, you're going second. I'm like, I'm the rookie, okay? Get me out of the way. So then you can have a punch at the end. But that's not true. Obviously, everyone is very equal in their skill. That's a joke. I want to be that very clear. But yeah, no. So that's just what's in my head there.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I don't know. I mean, I think I told you this, but like when it comes to the ordering of those shows, it is interesting because I'm always very aware of like, kind of putting people in certain spots.
The tone, yeah.
Yeah, but then I'm also, it has been fascinating to watch as the shows start to kind of develop, and as I start getting ideas from people about the song they want to use and then kind of the direction of the story. It's been really cool to see how, without having to do a ton of work on my part, I mean, I do look at the overall picture, but it is really cool to see how cohesive a lot of these shows have been, like, and pretty easy to figure out a natural, arc to the show just from the stories that people are throwing out. So, and I think that part of that is, speaks to the nature of humans and storytelling, that I mean we all legitimately have a story that's interesting, and there's connections to in all those stories. But I think, again, some people aren't going to ever want to get on a stage and tell it,
which is fair.
Which is fair. It's kind of, but those who do are, there's a little crazy.
A little bit. I like to think quirky.
Yes, quirky.
That's a better word.
That's a good word. But no, it's been really fun to kind of see that, and to see the people who come to the shows who would never want to get on stage, but who have that connection immediately and are like, I relate so much. So keep telling your stories.
Will do.
We love them, and can't wait to hear more.
Okay.
And so, but I really appreciate you being willing to sit down and talk about it and get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I like talking about me any day, all day, so I'm never going to complain.
Yes. Well, we'll definitely do it some more.
Cool.
And we expect to see you at the Moth.
Okay.
And
I'll be there.
Future songs that shape us.
Yes,
and
definitely.
lots of other opportunities. So, and Carapace. Have you heard of Carapace?
I have not.
So Shannon, who was in the show with us, who told the story about her uncle, she is the host of Carapace. It meets at Manuel's Tavern downtown. Okay. And it's a monthly storytelling event as well. And it's similar to the Moth in that it's an open mic. So you put your name in the hat, they draw names. So another great place. A lot of people say it's a great place to go kind of practice and work out your stories, because again, it's anybody can throw their name in. And so so that's another, I haven't had a chance to go yet. I want to, but another one that would be great to just check out. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
But,
put it down.
Yeah. Well, Indy, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I appreciate
Josh.
it. Yes. Well,
always.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
All right.
See ya.